Our years are 70 or 80 if we have special mightiness. That's what the Bible says. But the troubles we go through living our years take the joy away. The difficulty it takes to adapt to changes that has to do with health, age, transition between youth and adulthood. And of course, a lot of these changes actually pose a challenge to a happy life. My name is Alubi Edwards, and our topic today is the dynamics of changing times. And I, in this talk, we will want to talk about those changes and how they affect our well-being. I have a wonderful friend, a very familiar one, who I grew up with. He's a social commentator. He is a businessman. He's a historian, and of course, he's a happy family man. I want you to welcome my guest here. His name is Onyebuchi Ezeigbo, but I choose to call him Buchai. Buchai, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
My pleasure too.
It is always wonderful having you around. And just like a colleague of mine will say, you spew wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for obliging us your time once again. Today we want to look at the effects of change. They say change is constant, but accepting change it becomes difficult. So, for starters, how do you accept your changes?
Well, my philosophy to life is whatever you can change, you live with. So, life is dynamic, and change is also part of that dynamic that goes with life.
Yeah.
So, at any given time, as we progress in life, always look forward to new things that are going to happen as we enter new days. So by preparing myself already ahead of whatever changes that is going to come, I glide through whatever circumstance that comes my way without actually allowing it to weigh me down. So I'm always prepared for any new thing, any new change that is going to come. That's the way I live my life.
That's a wonderful one. Now I want to ask, what are the changes you had to deal with?
They are numerous now. They are numerous, my brother. Remember in those days we all used to run around the Lema football.
Yeah.
We used to run around now. We can't do that again now. That is a change. We've gone beyond that level. You understand? We all were in school, in class, all those camaraderie, all those whatever. Those are, the only thing you can do with those things now are just the memories. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's gone. There's one quote from James Hadley Chase. I remember that topic very well. But a short while to live. That's the title of that James Hadley Chase.
Yeah.
He says one of the glitch there says the past is gone, so you should forget it. The future is yet to come, to hell with it. The present is here, use it. It's a short and a merry world, so have a nice time while you can. Since I read that book, I think that should be after secondary school. That has been my philosophy to life. So with that, sometimes you wish things would have been the other way, that, your expectations not met, career path, maybe because of circumstances, your career path is changed, your marital life, though some of us, God eventually answered our prayers and
gave you your rib.
Yeah, possibly what you were looking at, the direction you were looking at wasn't God's direction. For those of us who are Christians, who are, who believe in God, everything was ascribed to a God, For now that we don't have any alternative belief, we don't have any superior argument that God does not exist. He exists. You understand? So he determines, he rules in the affairs of men. So a lot of, some of those things, but in all, you just look at yourself and congratulate yourself and say, well, I'm not that badly. Because if you look at your peers, if we believe that life is a gift that should be enjoyed and celebrated, you should also be happy that some of your friends that are no more, You shouldn't be
Yeah.
happy that they are no more. per
Yeah,
se.
but you be grateful
But
that
you should
you
be
are.
grateful that you are alive.
Yes.
Because life is a gift that you want to. You understand? So for the fact that you are alive is enough gratitude. It's enough for you to show gratitude and be happy. So
Yeah.
for me, that's just the way it has. Sometimes it's not really easy for you, when you think of, like when I was growing up, I really wanted to be a lawyer.
Me too.
Yeah, I like the limelight.
Yeah.
Just be, but somehow, for some reasons, things beyond your control, you don't find yourself. It's not too late anyway for us to still. Most of the law itself is is mostly an adult course.
Yeah, kind of.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's never too late for us to go back. Anyway,
Yes.
but when you see some of these our young lawyers, vibrant lawyers, when I watch them, I say, this could have been me, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
bro.
Yes.
Yeah, it is what
It is what it is actually. Yes, like you, I also wanted to be a lawyer. In fact, I had a diploma in law, and I was basking in all those court, all those kind of things. But then, like, change would come, and there was change, and then yes, some of these changes are not what you can control. I tried getting into school to do law, but I couldn't. Yes, I couldn't. I tried just once anyway, and the next trial was I tried getting into doing mass communication, which finally
You did.
I look at it, and when I go to year 2, just still trying, and I got an admission to do law in Unical, and I thought about it. Why would I leave for Harcourt? Why would I? A lot of odds came into my head, and I said, "What? And I'm going to start all over again. Why don't I continue with this one?" And that's how. I don't know. I think I feel okay where I am now.
Just like mine, when after secondary school, I followed one of my uncle to the north. He worked then it was EC, an electrical company of those olden days and whatever. That's where he worked. So he didn't go to school. So for him, he didn't grow far in there because he didn't go to school.
Yeah.
So, and the only condition to train me in school, higher institution then, was that I must do an engineering course. I was never an engineering person per se. So I was like, what do I do now? I went through remedial, through whatever, and I did electrical electronics. That's how I even got my diploma in electrical electronics from the Federal Polytechnic, BIDA then, which is now University of Science and Technology, BIDA.
Yeah.
But I was always restless, never used it, apart from the few when I came to London after my diploma. The few times we were trying to do all this DSTV installation.
Yeah. I remember you were
So
there. Yeah,
that was the background. That's from there I got that background. So apart from that, I was always restless. I wanted to do law, at a stage. Well, it is what it is. Before I said, okay, let me do any other social science course. Now I went back and did this. I've always loved history. Even if I have read law to PhD level or to professor level, I will still have read history.
And when we talk about these changes, yes, let's talk about change in health. For instance, we it is somebody who is well does not know the value of being well, because it will take a sick person to know that you would have been well if you had the opportunity. So how do you deal with such circumstances when you are vital, you are strong, all of a sudden one is sick? How could it be so? How do you?
It's relative now. We are talking about if we are talking about changes, we are now talking about aging.
Yes,
which is a constant this thing in change in the
decimal is like
recording decimal in the change factor. So age is a factor. When age is not a sickness per se, but there are some certain infirmities that comes with age.
Yes,
which you can't, small joint pains here and there, small dizziness here and there. Your blood pressure changes, your sugar level changes, your weight changes. You are not as active as you used
As
to
you
be.
used to be.
So because you are not as active as you used to be, definitely your body will change, will react, will change to the other way around. So, but what is trending among those of us who are men and above 50 is self-care. Men must take care of themselves. And in taking care of ourselves, you must be intentional about it. You must be very, very intentional. Once you are above 50 years of age, in short, from 45 anyway, even your sexual life is not going to be the same again. That is the most, in short, that should be even the most important one. So then,
Why don't you think that would be the most important?
Even the Bible says you must give your wife due benevolence.
Due benevolence.
Yes, that's what that's how the Bible puts it. You must give her due benevolence. It is her right that you satisfy her sexually. It's a spiritual obligation.
Okay.
So, and when you are not, and a man's physiology and a woman's own are not the same. You understand? Vitality, they are not the same. You understand? So, and mind you, some of these things has to do with the mind too. As you are aging, your responsibilities too are aging with you. They are coming up with you. When you were younger, you might have less responsibilities.
Yeah,
maybe you don't have kids, you don't have a wife to think of, you don't care. But now there's a wife. There are kids who are growing. As they are growing, their needs are changing and growing with you. The economic realities too, inflation and everything is going up. So some of those things now, the man's priority, the man's thinking changes too. And as your mind is thinking of how you are going to provide the next meal, pay the next school fees, change a car for yourself or for your wife, make sure your wife looks okay, make sure your family looks okay. If you are living in your own house, make sure the house is well maintained. If you are paying rent, how do you pay the next rent? And all those things. As you are thinking about all those things, your mindset is shifting from physical care and needs.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you must learn and consciously learn how to balance it. Or let whoever that is it know the reasons why things are the way they are. That is why having a very good and understanding partner comes into play. And you must be open. You must be open in that relationship. As you are aging, you are definitely has to be open. I have had a near-death experience. And if I had gone then, I would have known nothing, practically nothing. You understand? About your finances, about your whatever. So as you are aging, some of the things in taking care of yourself, first, openness to your partner, then your health. When openness is letting her know the state of your health, one of it. Then
your
you
inabilities
yourself,
now.
yes, your inabilities too. Why this can't happen? Why this needs to happen? Why our focus should be this and not this? Don't bluff. Don't. No. You don't have to. You understand? Then your BP. Take care of. Make sure you check your BP regularly, and make sure your heart is in good condition. Check your sugar level. Follow your family history. You must know your family history. Were your parents diabetic? Were they hypertensive? How old did they live? How young did they live? Those things should guide you as you are aging. Then if you notice any change in your body that's unusual before, that's not age-related, go for medicals. Don't rely on self-help. Open up to somebody. Open up to your wife. Open up to your friends. People should learn to open up. Even on the issue of sexual inability, be open. Open to your friends. Open up to your wife. Yes. You must be very, very open. You may think you are the only one suffering it. A lot of people are going through what you are going through. Because when you think you are lonely, depression comes in.
Yeah.
You think I'm the only one suffering this now. I look at all my friends now. Look, I see this my friend with the wife. They're holding hands. See this my friend with the wife. They're drinking. You don't know that. You may open up as a and this your see what. Not open up anyhow.
Yeah, I understand.
To anybody anyway.
Yeah.
So, oh boy, leave them. Just you may be surprised that what you think we are passing through, some other person is passing through worse. You understand? Then let me go back to the issue of health, which is the most important thing. Because if you age not being healthy, my brother, it's better you die. Like me personally, I pray. Don't pray to get to an age where I won't be able to carry myself where I need to be. No. You now become a liability to society. You understand? If you check now, so many men are lonely in old age. not
Okay.
because they wanted to be lonely. But the reality of life is, if you have children, mostly girl children, who get married and are having children, your wife is likely going to not be with you most of the time.
Yeah, I'll be with the kids.
It's
Be
a
with
cultural,
when
a
they become
traditional
mothers.
responsibility that she will go for
Yeah.
Omugo.
Yes.
And with the global level now that we are now, Omugo now is not limited to Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's not limited to Ikwere land. Omugo can be done in Canada. It can be done in USA.
Let me shock you. My elder sister is in Canada now
Good.
because my niece
Uh-huh.
just gave birth.
Okay. I have an uncle. The wife spent 1 full year, 1 full calendar year from February to the next February, going from one Omugo to another in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, here and there. And my uncle is still about 60s, late 60s. Oh.
Yeah.
1 full year, the wife was not around. They are very lovely couple. Oh. They love themselves. Very. It's not as if there's issue. It's not as if the woman is running up away from the man, but because of she has to do it. Now imagine if that man is not taking care of himself health-wise.
Yeah.
Imagine if he's not a social type. The
Yeah.
only look he's a ganja man. He takes care of himself. Yes, he takes care of himself very, very well. You understand? So imagine yourself if you are a titular or this type that this over-reserved introvert type that
Yeah.
don't have any friend other than your wife or your immediate family, and all your children are grown, and without Omugo self, if we are handing out, most of them will go to Canada, US, wherever. They're all there now. Your only partner left is your wife.
It's your wife.
Your daughter gives birth now. Your wife leaves because she has to, or she must. She leaves. You are now left alone, willy-nilly. How do you take care of yourself if you are sick? And the sickness could have been controlled if you are taking care of your health. You understand? So the priority is your health. Your physical well-being. Be very intentional about it. Take the drugs that will make you healthy. Because you say take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Some of us think take care of yourself having side chick. Side chick is not part of what
Taking
I'm
care of
saying,
yourself.
It's not part of taking care of yourself. So I say Buchi say you should be taking care of herself. My smallie day my side. You gotta take Viagra, you die. You die for nothing.
Gosh.
You die for nothing.
I was in a chance meeting with somebody who runs a hotel, and then he said that we're talking about this, and he said that somebody passed out in his hotel because he didn't check himself. He wanted to impress the lady and took overdose of drugs, and then he passed out. Now, coming back to that, why you say something like that before, like letting the partner know that your abilities are limited now. Is it possible that everybody accepts that? Though it's good to accept, does everybody accept?
But it's because people are not wise. You don't owe any small girl any explanation.
No, I'm talking about in the home now.
In the home, yeah. There's been a story. One of our classmates in those days said the uncle died on top of his wife. Wow. So that one had nothing to do with side chick now or Viagra. Died on top of the wife. So going back to aging and how to live and deal with it until God calls you back. These fundamentals are very, very important. Then there is one other aspect of it. This is our medication. If you check now, most of our meals, our food are not organic.
Yeah.
They are not natural. Our forefathers
so much
long,
chemicals.
so much chemicals. But we have natural things that you can use to balance it.
Do we still have it?
Our natural herbs are they banned? Our Nchanwu and our bitter cola and our garden egg and our whatever. Nobody stopped you from using Nchanwu as Lipton in the morning now. Scent leaf, you can soak it in water and the health benefits are unimaginable.
Really?
This Zobo hibiscus, they said recently some professors, researchers at UNN now, they came out with this that is one of the best medical remedies for high BP and sugar. I have it at home now. Just soak some pieces of it in hot water and drink it. You must not drink tea and coffee For those of us who take alcohol, we should minimize it, lower it down. Then let's involve in physical exercise. Everybody must not run. Everybody must not jog. But you see, in US, the obesity level in US, according to some research, are almost above 60%. In Japan, in Asia, the obesity level is less than 10%. Do you know why? In those countries, people walk, people trek
yeah.
more than driving. Apart from their natural meals, anyway,
Yeah,
their meals
yeah.
are mostly natural.
Yes.
But this issue of not walking, not trekking, we drive from here, want to go to here, you drive. Because here now in our culture, now, if they see you trekking,
Trek,
now,
you're
you are a poor man. You die. People not even ask about your family. But how you waiting to your motor now? So people not of shame, they want to drive. No, you can walk. You know what you burn, the calories you burn when you walk.
When
And
you
then
walk, yeah.
your heart beats better. You go, you are tired, you shower, you sleep well. You understand? So those are the basics. Then your social network. If they are dead, you need to resurrect them. If you are in church, belong to social group, social cultural groups that we share ideas, discuss issues, be active. If it's in the community, all these small communal meetings that I used to attend, where people go, they play, they laugh, they discuss issues, judge small community matter without breaking head, be active. Then purge yourself of grudge and bitterness and hate. Just Google hate or grudge, what it does to your body. This increases BP, increases it reduces your immunity. Ordinary grudge or hatred increases BP. It reduces minimizes your immunity. That's the language they used.
Yeah.
Minimizes your immunity, increasing your inflammation or whatever. I don't know what it means. You understand? Just grudge. Now, so if you take care of all your health and you have grudge, you die well. So as you are aging, make sure you don't. What are you grudging for now? Don't bear grudge. You can be angry. Even the Bible says, "Be angry, but sin not." You understand? Anger is allowed. Some people must provoke you now, but don't allow, because that bitterness over time leads to seclusion. Because of bearing grudge, don't do me today, I avoid them. Your friend do me next tomorrow, I avoid them. Over time, you avoid everybody. You are now a loner.
A loner.
From being a loner, depression sets in. And then in short, even the grudge, you say, increases stress. Your stress level will increase when you are bearing grudge. So people see you. You are 50, you are looking 70 or 80 because of bitterness, anger, unnecessary anger and bitterness. So you avoid all those things. And you see yourself live happily, aging happily, because age is a thing of grace. It's a thing of joy.
So we would wish to, live young, but it's not in our time. Like we started out, we say the Bible said that our years are 70 or 80, and that means we have to be very favored. You understand? So with that wish, with that desire to live longer, and we don't, we really have a lot to tackle with, a lot of psychological, imbalances, to make us, reason well and live life the way we see it, the best way we can. So that's one of those are part of the changes we can get through aging. What about now we are mature, we are aged, we are getting married and having children, and then we are getting jobs, and then for some time we lose jobs? What do you think?
That one is very...
the transition between I used to have this, and I used to have that. I used to live in Ikoyi. Now I'm living in, make I no call some places, let it not be like I'm stigmatizing, but like poor places. We know the places like VI, Ikoyi, and GRAs. Those are big places, big people live. But then there are people who, they live from Ikoyi to some slum areas because of not being able to meet up with the rented, the school fees, and all of that. That could be traumatizing.
It definitely should be now. But then again, if you are, unless you are a politician and who is not involved in any business, if you're a salary earner, those of us who have earning salaries, you should start planning your retirement. You understand? So how do I mean is definitely you shouldn't take yourself to a place where your retirement cannot sustain. So yes, that should be your focus. That, like those of us working on the rig, in the rig platform, if you come to the rig and you see food, if you don't have self-control, you will definitely be obese. There's no how you are not going to be obese and diabetic. Then, if you lose your job, just 1 month safe or 2 months not going to work, you see some people, they have gone down physically.
Yeah.
Not because of whatever, but because they don't have, in short, whatever. We used to tell ourselves, whatever you cannot afford at home, don't eat it here. The quantity you can't eat at home, don't eat it here because you are seeing it. Because when you get to your house, you won't be able to afford it. You now, psychologically, you start going down.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's just fear of how am I going to sustain this life that makes people to go down. So as you are working, whatever you are doing, you know your earnings. You can project that if everything goes well, from now to now, this is what I can earn. This is how I can manage it. This is the level it can take me to. If the job goes
Bad.
at least within this period, I can sustain myself to a level before I pick up. That's why it is good that everybody who is working, a salary earner must have a side hustle. Unfortunately, I've not had one. I'm planning seriously towards that. But then, if you don't have, make sure your partner has.
Okay.
Make sure your partner has, and empower and encourage her to have. You understand? There is nobody that is going to come to your aid more than that your partner in the times of need. If it's as long as she has hope that you are going to pick up.
That's another thing.
Yes. Because some of them, when they see that, they don't like spending their own. But there is hope that, okay, you are making effort. Okay, it's just like those of us, once in a while they say, we're on standby. Go on standby for 2 months. Go on standby for 3 months. You know that if work comes, you are going to go back to work. So there's hope.
Yeah.
So she must be able to carry the house to a level before you go back. So you must have all these plans in place. Most of us, our jobs now are pensionable. Definitely, you are not going to retire and depend on your pension. With inflation level now, your pension cannot even sustain you. So the bottom line is that you must have a plan. Whatever you cannot afford at retirement, don't delve into it now. A car you cannot maintain if your job stops today, don't buy it because you have a job. A house you cannot maintain if you are living rent anyway, don't go there, because if you are living in Ikoyi and something happens, you are now out of Ikoyi, living somewhere else, means the house probably was not yours. Because if the house was yours, the worst that can happen is you sell it and build in a lower place.
Yes.
Whatever you sell it, like in Elelenwo now that we are, there are places you have a property in Elelenwo, you can sell it and build another the same building itself somewhere else. You get a land cheaper.
Yeah.
And build, you understand what I mean? So that is just that. But the issue of losing a job, Nigeria economic destiny is very unstable and very unpredictable. It can happen, but you must have it at the back of your mind. Prepare yourself to stand up and pick up again. Have hope.
Okay. What you're saying is that now you're saying that somebody who sometimes it might not just be you, it might just be your kids, it might just be your partner telling you that, look, with your salary, with your earning, we should be staying somewhere else. And then you move to that place. And then the job doesn't get to a point and it is not as it used to be. So, you have given the advice that we sew our coats according to our size. We don't live beyond our immediate earnings. But it could be very traumatic sometimes. And when you move downward, when you move downward, it's not good. Well, we're here for talking and giving advices. We said it like I was quoting a friend of mine who said he spews wisdom, and of course that is what we want to pass around. And I believe that we are getting there, and we appreciate the fact that you follow us in this journey. There's another change that job does. I think we talked about it earlier, when you have to move from a city to another city. Yes, job dictates. Some people are, civil servants, police, army, so they move from somewhere to somewhere. Some people, some of our mates those days, some of our schoolmates, they tell you, if they want to talk, they tell you, I schooled in Kaduna, I schooled in Abia, I schooled in, because their parents were being moved
from
about
one place to
due to
another.
the job necessity. You really cannot do much about it. But what do you think? How do you think the kids feel about that?
They don't have any choice now. It even helps the kids the more. It helps the kids. Like me, my parents were teachers. So my father taught at one school, Mkporo, in Abreba. After Abreba, Mkporo, that I used to be Arochukwu or Hafia local government, old Imo State and Abia State, you know. So we all were there. It was there I did primary one till it was at primary 5 to enter 6. My father now brought me back to the village. I wanted me to school, do my common internship
Yeah.
in the village. You understand? Because all my mannerisms, my language, my dialect that I used to be that Urda Onhafia dialect.
Yeah.
So that's why now I can hear Onhafia. Even though as we are in Abia State, if someone from that side speaks, you may not hear.
Okay.
You understand? But I can hear very, very well because of that.
Because you were there.
Yes, I know that area can expose me. You understand? So those movements, in short, it helps children. I don't think it has anything to do with it helps them because traveling and movement is part of education and exposure for children.
Yeah, but sometimes when it's a good
It is.
it's a good way of exposing the
children.
kids,
Yes.
But then kids being kids, like you have this friend in school, you have this your playmates, and then all of a sudden they are moving. There are certain decisions I do take, and I think about my kids.
Yeah.
First of all,
Of course.
what's going to give them joy?
Of course.
You understand?
Of course.
As let me tell you, in my organization, religious organization, we became very large to remain in one congregation, and we had been in this congregation for years, and we had known each other. We've been so, apart from the love, there has been like a close knit love. Your brothers, all of a sudden we are splitting. And some of your friends, some of these your very, very close brothers and sisters are going to move to the other congregation. And you're on this congregation, you're going to miss them. As I tell you, my family, my younger brother's family and my family are separated in the congregational level. You understand? So we were thinking, what are we going to do? What do we do? How do we? And sometimes you start to look. This brother that is in this congregation, it would have been like with this brother. So we had to have a meeting in my family. I said, okay, what do you think? First of all, this is a theocratic, arrangement.
Yeah.
So we might not always like it though. But instead of I now had to talk with them, and I said, okay, look, for the love of God, for the love of obeying those who take lead, let's leave it. It's a theocratic arrangement. Jehovah may have seen it this way. Maybe with time we realize why we should actually be on this side. You understand? So kids sometimes they do determine our decisions. So when you move, how do you think about it? How do you carry them along?
Though I've not moved from town to town, I've moved from house to house since
Okay.
since I got kids. My own personal decision about them is that I have made up my mind even before I got kids that I will not live below a particular environment level because of the type of kids, how I wanted
You
my
want
kids
to
to
grow, yeah.
So at every given time, that's my consideration. That I don't want to move to an environment where they will look as daddy now. Wow, why now? You understand? So wherever I've always moved to, I consider them. That's the consideration I have for them, and considering my earnings too, that whatever I can be able to afford this within this thing, and the children will not have that shock of we have moved from. So my movement has always been, by God's grace, a bit
Upper, better.
upper.
Yeah.
Even in their schooling, it has always been that trajectory. You understand? So, but if it comes about moving from town to town, I've not had genuine reason, strong reasons to move. If I have, I will move because now, life is a bit more individualistic than it used to be. Don't forget.
Yes.
These kids are more attached to their gadgets
Than their neighbor,
their peers, and
yes.
they don't even have
They
neighbors.
don't even have the peers.
Apart from school and church now, I hardly see my kids. My kids don't even come out from our gates. The only thing I will consider the kids before I do, I will look at how is this going to affect their well-being, physically and mentally. If it's not going to affect them negatively, I won't think twice before doing it. You understand? Because I should be wise enough to know what is good for them.
Yeah.
Until they get to the age of making decisions by themselves. Now, when it gets to the age of they want to enter university now, even at that too, you decide to a large level which school your kids will go. You understand? You can decide that. You understand? So for me, that has never been, because my parents never consulted me before they, so that has never been a factor. The only person I will consider again is my wife because of her business too. Like now, if whatever consideration I'm making about moving, whether to permanent place or whatever, I consider her business where I will be, that she too should be handy, because I don't like an idle wife. No, I don't like it. I know what her being industrious has done for me.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I can never encourage a woman that is not any man, no matter how rich you are, to have a wife that is not this thing. Because you can be a millionaire self or a billionaire, but at a particular time you may have a need that requires urgent 2K.
Urgent 2K.
And will not be able to have it. So for me, that's just the way I look at it. Consider them, but whatever decision you take should be something that would not be against them per se. An Englishman called Robert Britford,
Okay.
an anthropologist and a doctor, a physician, who lived between 1876 and 1948. What is the Britford's law? He said in the animal setting meaning this thing, that the female gender determines whether there will be an association or not.
Wow.
That is what he said. He said because the female gender's thinking before they accept an association is what they are going to gain physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, and otherwise. And as long as they are gaining some or most of those things, the association continues. But once they are not getting any, they do not look at what they have gained before. Most of them don't look at what they are going to gain in the future. Most of them look at what they are seeing now. Because for them, most of them, what they are seeing now will determine what is going to happen in the future. So now, how do that relate to our taking care of ourselves as we are getting older and retiring? Is that no matter how, no matter what it takes, try and make yourself useful to your partner as you are aging. Don't keep yourself to a level where you become useless to your partner, because no partner, it's very few but opposite sex that want to stay with a man who is sexually inactive, materially inactive, emotionally not supportive, psychologically not there. You are just useless. So as you are aging, that your beautiful wife, lovely wife, godly wife, Christian mother wife, know that there is a reason why she's there and why she sees you as the head and the man. Once those reasons are not there, be very, very sure that your old age is going to be miserable. So within yourself, whatever you are doing, however you are planning yourself, make sure as long as you are alive, you are adding value to her.
Okay, that's a wonderful advice. But now let me tell you something. How do you look at a situation where a man, due to probably health reasons, age reasons, and body anatomy reasons, the person is not able, to do what he has to do, what he needs to do in the bedroom, and then the wife now takes an alternative. Like we know what was trending now for most people, even though it's on a coded level. Some people want to indulge into self-help, like obtaining some, let me use the word toys. You know, do you subscribe to that? Do you think that okay, because somebody does that as against cheating or going, the other negative aspect? How does the man, finding out this, how do you think he should feel?
First, definitely you feel bad that it's because of your inability to possibly satisfy her. That's why it's gotten to this level.
Yeah.
But then again, you now have to look at the other option. You understand, and weigh it and say, well, if not for maybe spiritual, cultural, or traditional reasons, for me, I don't have anything against sex toy.
Spiritual, cultural.
I just know.
Is that supposed to be?
I
I
know why I coined it that way. I don't have any reservations about it. In short, I encourage it. You understand? I encourage couple to get to the level where they can discuss such things. Say, babe, if I need toy, or you let couple be so
Open
close,
enough.
so open enough to a level where they can discuss such things. I have a senior colleague, who gave me a story once. Said the uncle or the elder brother or the auntie were married for 30 years. Their first child is 29 years.
Okay.
The woman is almost early 50s or so.
Yeah.
Or maybe about 50. The husband is above 60. When they started, the man was slim, not handy. But now the irony now is that the man is rich and now develop very big tummy, that normal man. So the wife one day said, no, went and bought sex toys. And what? They had to come to the family to judge the matter.
The larger family.
The woman is my friend's sister. He said, Koro, the guest, the woman said, because of culture, I cannot go outside. I'm not going outside. So she has been using cucumber secretly. But now her friends because when money come, na different matter.
Yes.
Associations that goes with money, for women.
Yeah.
If there is money in a circle and women start mixing among them, it's a different matter from this level where me and you there.
Yeah.
So that's a different matter altogether. So you got into that level, exposed to this thing now, women, big women. So she now went and got herself toys. I said she will use it to. The husband now was like, see the matter, the judge things for house. Well, I say, yes, now see Bele now, the fit perform, and me, I know fit go outside. The brothers were asking, the family members were asking the wife, for a marriage of 30 years, your first child is 29 years. She said they say she no agree. Say she will use sex toy. Or the marriage goes scatter. Make she done her own. You understand? Because what we don't know is that these women like sex more than the men. That's what we don't know. Yes, they like sex more than the men. You understand? And what they also don't know is that because you are not sleeping with them regular does not mean you love them less.
Yes. Yeah.
Or you're having it outside. Over time,
priorities change, psychology change.
But they don't reason.
A lot of things will make you think less of certain things.
They don't reason the way we reason. They don't see things the way because they are always the receivers. When they stop receiving, because they are receivers now, they receive money, they receive care, they receive whatever, they receive sex. Once they stop receiving, there's bound to complain. So it's their nature. It's for you to know, can use other things and balance it. But then, if you are saying use other things and balance it, what other thing can you use and balance it now? You have money now, you bought her car, you bought everything. She still went and you bought her sex toy. So for me, you let her be with her sex toy. If that makes her happy. Provided it does not stop you from anything. It doesn't stop her from making your minister and treating you like a. It's only both of you that knows what is happening down there. Yeah. As far as it does not disrupt your social life outside, you let her be for your own sanity and think of other ways to make yourself happy too. You understand? Yes, don't be selfish now. If you really know as a man that you can't perform again, you cannot use your whatever and now restrict her. Since that is the level she has to, not the other way. The other way say no for every man and every man.
Yes.
We all know that one. But this one, It's none of my. I'm not a selfish person. It's none of my business. Oh. No.
Yes, yes, you just said it. I want you to look at what do you think before, it's, as part of what he was saying. He wanted to say if it is culturally, religiously, and all of that. What do you think? Let's hear your comments in the comment section.